From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Turning out to be another nice day for many of us. We're looking at mainly dry conditions. There are a few scattered showers here and there. I mean, just few. Nothing really exciting going on there, but it's tomorrow. That's the main event. But look at Crescent City, of course, looking at some patchy blue skies out there. And that's really going to be the story for pretty much everyone in Northern California. We take a look at Lake Oroville. Looks like a little bit more in the way of cloud cover there. We'll call it overcast skies for many of us in the valley. You kind of look off in the distance, and yeah, much like that in Crescent City, you can see some kind of breaks in the clouds there, some blue skies in some areas as well. Now we take a look at Trinity Center, kind of getting that washout, so there's most likely some blue skies in there as well. Otherwise, the mostly cloudy skies out in Trinity Center. And of course, this is what it looks like out at Lassen Park. Once again, yeah, a little bit of blue in there, but otherwise looking at the mostly cloudy sky. So this is what we've got. Another dry and mild day. Again, much like yesterday, but the unsettled weather pattern kicks in tomorrow. And we're going to be looking at the rain, the gusty winds, the snow in the mountains. It's going to be a day tomorrow. Of course, heavier rain this weekend too, but we do have those snow levels eventually climbing up around 5,000 feet or higher by this weekend. So what we've got here is this storm system right here. This is what's taking shape. You see the spin right here? We're going to begin to see this get a little bit more defined and developed as it moves closer to us. This right here is the atmospheric river. That is what's going to be moving in our direction. Now, even though it won't be aimed right at us, we're going to be looking at a lot of that moisture coming into Northern California. Behind that, that's the activity that's going to be coming in here by really the end of this week and into the weekend. So let's walk you through the timing of the first storm as it approaches. Today, not much going on. Again, maybe a passing sprinkle or a light shower, especially to the north out towards Siskiyou and Modoc County. Now we have the first batch of moisture coming in. Now, for 8 early in the morning on Wednesday, we're looking at some light showers for the valley, but heavier rainfall, and not to mention snow in the higher elevations early tomorrow morning. Look at that towards Del Norte County and western Siskiyou County, even northern Humboldt County, seeing some moderate to heavy rainfall. Snow levels are expected to be basically from Wednesday through Thursday, somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. This means that I think the biggest impact on travel will be east of I-5 here as we take you through the day on Wednesday. So let's take you into Wednesday around the noon hour. You see how we're seeing some of the heavier rainfall off to the west and parts of the valley. But this is kind of really the main kind of line of rain that's kind of pushing on through. Meanwhile, we've got some more activity coming in behind that. That's going to reestablish and develop itself. So by 6 p.m. Wednesday, now we've got some pretty heavy snow off to the east. So this is where we start seeing the bigger problems here with travel in the mountains east of I-5. You're talking mainly on those higher mountain passes, so above 4, and in particular above 5,000 feet, where you start seeing the bigger chances for those chain requirements. But of course, Scott Mountain on Highway 3, for example. But I think things should be okay on I-5. Could we at points in time on Wednesday maybe see a bit of a mix out towards Mount Shasta City, maybe north of that near Weed? Possibly, but I think it's going to be mainly in the form of rain on I-5 here. Shouldn't be a major problem. Then we go into your Thursday. Now look what happens on Thursday. We're not looking at the widespread precipitation, but still some snow in the higher elevations. And in fact, I think it'll be closer to the 3,000 foot range to 3,500 foot range here as we go through the day on Thursday as some slightly cooler air begins to move in. But you'll notice, looks like most of the activity is off to the north and northwest. We're not seeing as much activity down to the south. But bottom line, everyone still has that chance for showers on Thursday, but the heavier rain and not to mention snow will be to the north and west. Now looking at the rainfall estimates through Thursday evening, there you can see about a half of an inch, give or take here for the valley, and about an inch, give or take, for the north coast. Maybe a bit more out towards Crescent City and even northern portions of Humboldt County, but you get the idea. Most of the rain, as we typically see, is to the west of I-5, and for the valley, we're looking at less rainfall and then even less heading off to the east. But look at Bernie. This might be overdoing it a bit, but you get the idea. There are going to be some locations, it looks like east of I-5 and east of the valley, that could be looking at the potential for some heavier rainfall. Now, we take a look at our snowfall estimates here, and yeah, we could be looking at the potential for some light accumulations out towards Chester, especially at 4,500 feet. You've got that potential. But where we're looking at mainly in the form of rain for Weaverville, Hayfork, Mount Shasta City, maybe a bit of a mix. I think Bernie at points in time could be looking at a bit of a mix as well. But as you get into those higher elevation communities like Chester, for example, you're talking 2 to 4 inches. And how about Shingletown? 3,500 feet, probably more like a mix. It's going to be borderline, right? And then you start getting it just a little bit higher and you get into around Viola, for example, probably looking at some light accumulation. Let's take a look at your winds too, because that's going to be a factor. Now today, not so much, but tomorrow morning, the coast seeing those winds first. Then that pushes eastward. Now we're seeing 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts for the valley. That's around noon, shortly after that. And then we go into Thursday, and even though the winds are subsiding, I think it'll still be pretty breezy out there, and in particular out along the coast. All right, so we take a look at Futurecast long range now, and you can see Thursday, there's that chance. Now, Friday, it's looking fairly dry, but by Saturday, there's the next atmospheric river right here. It's a weak one, but it is going to bring us some good amounts of rain. Now, as that one passes, moves off to the east, we're going to be looking at drier weather again on Sunday. Now, this storm system right here is still taking shape, and it will eventually move closer to us by the time we get into early next week. So next Monday, next Tuesday, this could pump in some moisture, giving us more rain, and not to mention snow in the mountains. So yeah, there's a lot of rain heading our way, and I'm anticipating upwards of 3 inches or maybe even more for some of us in the valley, and not to mention the coast. Now we look at the wave heights through the rest of this afternoon, yeah, around 6 feet. Now we take you into your Wednesday. Now you're looking at those wave heights getting higher because you've got that approaching storm system, and that is going to mean higher wave heights and most likely looking at a small craft advisory out there. Here's a look at your forecast for today. Temperatures once again are probably going to be somewhere in the upper 50s, maybe some low 60s for some of the warmer spots in the valley. And there you can see in the mountains in the mid to upper 40s, although places like Trinity County, mid 50s. Upper 50s, mid to upper 50s for the North Coast and inland. So looking at your 7-day outlook, what we're going to be looking at here is, of course, maybe an isolated shower here for places like Mount Shasta and Alturas. Otherwise, it's dry today, and for pretty much everyone else too. But then we go into Wednesday, there is that rainfall. Snow levels, as you can see, I've got them on average around 4,000 feet. It could be locally lower than that in some cases here, and locally higher. Now, as we go into Thursday, this is what I was talking about. I think the snow levels may drop just a tad. So around 3,500 feet. But that's also when we're seeing less rain and less snow, but still could have an impact. Then by Friday, we see a break. Saturday, more rain and higher snow levels. A break on Sunday with more rain coming in early next week. Now we take a look at our 7-day outlook for the valley. It's dry today under partly to mostly cloudy skies. There's that heavy rainfall and windy conditions for Wednesday. Keep in mind it's going to be windy. Thursday, still some showers out there, but not a lot. There's that break on Friday, and then more wet weather. So it's kind of off and on with this rain, which is good. You don't want it all coming at once, right? So we get these breaks, and even though there still is that potential for some flooding, especially by the time we get into that Saturday time frame, it's going to lessen the blow because we'll have some time to recover between these storm systems. So all in all, yes, we're seeing a lot of rainfall, but it's not all coming at once.